Hello and welcome to another Unexpected Results on the Slyphor channel, with another pack of Fate Reforged to crack open and see what we have. The new format of Fate Reforged seems to be going pretty well. It means my videos are shorter, so you can just tune in and enjoy the small amount that I'm throwing together. And it gives you more time to watch Strategy Saturdays, which is always nice. Those are my long videos. Ancestral Vengeance is first. I don't believe I've pulled one of these. Or I've pulled one, I don't think I've recorded pulling it. 2 blacks, Enchantment Aura. When Ancestral Vengeance enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. An enchanted creature gets -1/-1. So it's a Bile Blight onto one creature while giving yourself a counter. I'm not sure if there's any other effects similar to that can be used to describe it. It seems really good. In Abzan it seems really useful because the counters trigger all the Outlast abilities. So that's nice. We then have a War Flare, which we've had before, but that's a nice combat trick. We have a Soul Summon, which I do not believe I've shown before. For 1 and a white, it's a sorcery where you manifest the top card. It's a nice simple spell. It's a cheap drop for a 5-colour morph deck to manifest a card off the top. That, alongside the Mastery of the Unseen, are both really cheap white morph effects, or manifest effects. So they're really good. Yeah, seems decent in a morph deck. I don't think it would see play outside of morph decks, but there you go. Sultai Skullkeeper, we've done before. It's okay and good in Sultai decks, but meh in everything else. Reach of Shadows, 4 and a black for an instant that destroys target creature that's 1 or more colours. So it's a kill spell for 5 that I suppose it's instant speed, so it's better than some kill spells which aren't instant speed. The 5 mana cost is very high, and the fact that it has to target, well, it's just coloured permanent, 1 or more colours. So yeah, it can't target Ugin. Other than that, it can pretty much can't target Ugin, can't target artifacts, can't target land, but it has to target creatures anyway, so land is irrelevant, and Ugin's irrelevant. It can't target artifact creatures. It can pretty much hit everything else. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But this could well point towards there being a colourless creature section in the Dragons of Tarkir set. So there you go. There may well be colourless creatures. Oh, there we go. That's what it can't target. Morph or manifest, because they are all colourless when they are face down. So there you go. Map the Wastes is another card that I haven't talked about. 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library and it bolsters 1. So it's an Abzan mana fixing card. A little bit of mana ramp, but not particularly. And the bolster is obviously great in Outlast decks. So there you go, that seems like a good card. Another Lightning Shrieker, which I've talked about before, so we can skip over that, but it's really good. Anok Guide, 1 and a green for a 1/1 Hound Scout. When it enters the battlefield, you have 2 options. You can pick one, so you can put a +1/+1 counter on it to make it trigger all the Outlasts, or you can search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. So you can kind of mana fix, or you can Outlast. So it's not quite as good as Map the Wastes, but it is 1 cheaper and it is a creature. So there you go, it depends on what you want. Then we have a Sand Step Outcast. I saw a couple of these in pre-release a while back, and they were really good. They did a lot of work for a lot of people because of the versatility of them with their multiple options. They are 2 and a white for a human warrior with a 2/1 human warrior, and when it enters you choose one, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, or you get a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying on the battlefield. So it's a token gen card. It's a 2/1 that makes a 1/1 flyer, or it can be a 3/2 that then has all the Outlast abilities. So whether you're playing Abzan or Mardu, this can be useful in both. Then we have a Smouldering Efreet, a 1 and a red for a 2/2, so it's a bear, but when it dies it deals 2 damage to you. So a bear with a downside, but it's an Efreet monk, so if we see some monk tribal stuff in the future, then these could be better, but currently they're not amazing. They're good, but they're not great. Then we have a Frostwalker, which I've spoken about before. They're pretty good, but they're illusions, which is a bit of a downside. And that's our first uncommon. Our second uncommon is Dragon Rage, which I had a bit of a thing over in a previous episode. They're pretty good. The third uncommon is a Ward Scale Dragon, which I've also had before, and they are my favourite of the uncommon dragon cycle. And our rare is a Monastery Siege. I have not pulled one of these yet, and they are really good. The Siege is a cycle of enchantments, in which when you play them, you pick Khans or dragons, and they have 2 different effects based off which one you pick. And I believe they all drop for 2 and... oh no they don't. This one is the cheapest for drop. They normally drop at 4, but the Sultai one, or the black one, drops for 5, and this one drops for 3, 2 and a blue. The Khan's effect is at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, and then discard a card. So it's cycling, somewhat. Good in Sultai, because you're discarding cards down to your delve pile, and you're good in Jeskai, because you're getting the extra draws. Not so great in Temur, but still decent. And then there is Dragons, where spells your opponents cast that target you or a permanent you control cost 2 colourless more to cast. So it's the Diffusion Sliver ability, which is good. It's pretty good. In Jeskai it's really good, because it targets opponent spells but not yours. In Sultai it just keeps your creatures alive, I suppose. And in Temur it stops people burning quite as quickly, so you can ramp out faster. So that's really good rare. And then we have a Windscarred Crag and a promo. Not promo, but a promotional card. So yeah, Windscarred Crag, Monastery Siege, and once again I believe I'm going to have to pick, although Sandstep Outcast is good and was decent, the Dragon Rage is going to be my pick of the pack, because that is just a really good card. So, I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. Goodbye.